Hello, welcome to another Gentle Yoga Flow with Dan. Hope you're feeling well today. And this is part of the continuing JCC online program. And you can go back and watch any of the previous videos by any of the instructors. So you can always go and look around for different kinds of videos that you like. Today we're going to be doing mostly standing poses. So we'll be up on top of the mat on our feet for the most part. And as far as anything you might need for this block or a chair, could both be handy, but you won't need a lot. And other than that, hope you're feeling well, and we'll get started by sitting in a comfortable seated pose. Sitting up on a block, a blanket here. If you can sit on a cushion or a pillow or anything that raises your hips up a little bit higher, probably makes sitting a little bit more comfortable. But whatever you'd like, whatever's comfortable for you, find a comfortable seated position. And we'll start by sitting here. You can rock back and forth a little bit. Feel the sitting bones, the bottom of your pelvis. You can kind of press into them and feel them as you rock back and forth. Really feel like you can press down. And as you press down, you want to get a certain amount of a lift coming. So it's a pressing down and lifting up right out of the belly button, right all the way up the front side of your body. Take a couple moments here just to take some nice long inhales and exhales. With your eyes closed, allow yourself to start making that transition from wherever you were prior to starting your practice to a fully cognizant and aware practice. So let your focus and attention come to your body, to your mind, to your practice, and start slowly letting the thoughts and things going on in the rest of your life fade a little bit more towards the background. And as you're doing that, really start to drill in and focus on this nice, long, steady Ujjayi breath, where you're taking an inhale through the nose, lifting up as you inhale, feeling the expansion all the way through the upper body as you breathe in. And then as you exhale, you can exhale either through the mouth or the nose, but let the lift stay as much as possible and allow the exhale to fully exhale out of all of the places where the inhale went. So you're really just starting to develop this nice, long, steady breath, matching the exhale to your inhale. So your inhale is your guide, the exhale is the follower. And we'll be maintaining this kind of breathing for the next 45, 50 minutes. So allow your body to really start to get acclimated to that sense of in and out, of lift and retention of lift. As we really start to take in the effects of a seated little meditation here. Now take your hands, bring your palms together at your heart center. As you maintain your steady, even inhale and exhales, bring an intention to your practice today, whatever that is. It's all within your own mental parameters. It's always only up to you. But acknowledge that intention, the desire to reach that intention, and the respect for the work to attain the intention you're seeking. It doesn't happen automatically. We train our bodies and we train our minds. And the things we do with most regularity and consistency are the things that we go back to in moments of crisis, stress. So we train the body in yoga to learn how to be in the moment, to breathe in the moment, and to maintain a certain amount of steadiness as we react to whatever is happening around us in that moment. Now gently lower your hands back to your thighs. Take a couple more nice long breaths here. And then from here, gently open your eyes. And then relax and come out of your seated position. We're going to stand up, come to the mat, and move my block out of the way. Put it over here for now. And you may want to have a block handy, or a book, or a pillow. A chair works great for some of the things we're going to do. So start with the block here, and we'll start in Tadasana. So we will have our feet together, toes together, heels slightly apart, in a nice standing position. So if this is uncomfortable for you, you can separate your feet a little bit so that they're hip width apart. We want to make sure that our toes are both pointing forward if at all possible. So we find our Tadasana pose, our standing pose, mountain pose, and we start with our feet. So lift the toes gently off the mat, right? And when you do that, you'll feel really the parts of your feet that are pressing down into the mat. Those are the core parts of the foot that are going to really give you stability and strength. So gently lower the toes back to the mat, but keep that intention. Keep the toes soft. Keep the bottoms of the feet engaged, the arches lifted. And notice as you lift your arches, you're going to find a certain amount of lift happening all the way up the legs, all the way up into here, and then extend that lift as you pull the shoulders back a little bit, standing as erect as you can. Nice and steady in Tadasana, come back to your breath. Nice and steady breath, even inhales and exhales. And then inhale your arms straight up overhead, Tita Hasta Tadasana. Arms are straight up. Palms are facing each other, or maybe even they're turning a little bit towards the back of the room. The biceps, this muscle, the arms are rotating a little bit, and so maybe even those biceps are pointing towards the back of the room. And you're finding lift, reach with the fingertips. Nice and steady. Keep the breath even. Keep breathing. Each inhale, reach with the fingertips a little bit higher. And then lower the arms back to your sides to Tadasana. Now, keeping the feet exactly where they are, you're going to use your block. Put your block in front of you. Could be a book, could be a chair. Doesn't matter. We're going to do some forward folds, and the purpose of the block and the chair is to give our place for our hands to land. So we'll start by inhaling the arms up, and then as we exhale, fold at the waist, soften the knees a little bit. Keep the knees bent, fold all the way over. You're going to come down, bring your hands to the block, whatever the right height is, or the floor. You could be up on the chair. Right? The point is that we're just folding over at the waist. Keep the knees a little bit bent. Let the head drop. We'll take several rounds of breath as we stay in this forward fold for just a minute here. Okay, now the next inhale, you're going to bring your up onto your fingertips. Reach with the crown of the head forward. Arching the back a little bit maybe. And then as you exhale, fold over the waist again, letting the head drop. Inhale, back up again. Flattening the back, reaching with the crown of the head. And then exhale, fold one more time. One more, inhale up. Reaching with the crown of the head, flat back. Exhale, forward fold all the way down. And inhale all the way up this time, one vertebrae at a time, reaching all the way back up. Arms reach up. And then arms back by your sides. And relax. Okay, keeping your block or chair. I'll do this next pose with the chair just to give you an example. So we've done this pose, if you follow my class along, it's pyramid pose. So we start with our feet in the position where the back leg is turned out about 2/3, about 60 degrees maybe. Front foot is pointing forward. The heels are pretty much in alignment. So if there's a line down the middle of the mat, the heels are pretty much on each side of that line. And then you come to a nice straight up pose, bring your hands to your hips. And notice with this foot turned out, our natural hip position is kind of turned out to the side here. And so we want to rotate our hips, right? So our hips are now pointing forward, straight ahead. Take a big inhale. And then as you exhale, fold at the waist. So you're keeping the hips straight. Legs are both straight, no bent knees here. Folding forward, folding forward. Now there's a couple ways you can go here. If you don't need the chair, you can bring your hands really all the way down your leg, bringing your forehead down towards your knee. If you're using a block, right, I can bring my hands here. If you want to use a chair, which is really kind of a nice way to do this pose, you can bring your hands to the chair and walk your hands out a little bit and really feel nice and stable and in control. Either way, the pose is the same no matter what you're doing with your hands, right? And where your hands end up will be mostly a function of your flexibility, range of motion. When you're keeping your hips straight. Now, reach. If your hands are on the chair, right, you can find more extension, more sensation by walking your hands forward. Right? You're going to get that same sensation. If your hands are on the block and you're dropping your head, you're going to get more sensation, same thing. Down here. Either way, listen to your body. Listen to where you're finding sensation and be careful and mindful and practice ahimsa, non-harming. So you don't want to get hurt. So take one more nice long breath here. And then gently come on back up. Bring your hands back to your hips. Now we're going to keep our feet just like this for a moment. And then we're going to come forward again. Okay? And this time we're going to do a twist. Now you can do the twist either with a block or your hand on the chair. Okay? Either way, we're going to rotate towards our left. So our left foot is forward, so we're going to rotate to the left. And as we rotate, we're really looking to bring the left shoulder up. Let the gaze go out to the side. You can bind your arm behind your back. You can raise your arm up if you want for a revolved pose. Keep the breath steady and even. And then come back to center. Bring your hand back to the chair, back to the block, either way. Then bring your hands to your hips. Inhale. Come on up and bend the front knee and step forward. Same thing other side. This time the right foot is forward, left foot back. So we get into our foot position. Left foot's turned out, right foot is pointing forward. Bring our hands to our hips, rotate the hips forward. Take a big inhale. And then as you exhale, bend at the waist, keeping the legs straight. Folding at the waist. And from here, you're going to bring your hands down to either your leg, to the block, to the chair. Key thing is keeping the hips rotated, keeping the legs straight. So with the chair, one nice thing about the chair is I can walk my hands forward. And that gives me both stability, but more sensation in my legs. Right? And how far you go and all will really depend on your own body and how it feels and what feels good. Right? Maybe you can bring your hands to your leg and bring your forehead all the way down to the knee. Everyone's going to be a little different. Keep the breath nice and steady and even, wherever you are. Take one more nice long breath. And bring your hands to your hips. Inhale. And relax. Okay. This time we'll twist the other side so your feet stay where they are. Take a big inhale. As you exhale, fold at the waist, coming forward. And then again, you can bring your hand down to a block. You can bring your hand down to the chair, whichever feels like it's more supportive and better for you. And then you might bind your arm. So as you're from here, we're going to twist to the right this time. Really trying to twist and bring those shoulders. Bringing that right shoulder up, left shoulder under. And then maybe you can raise your arm. Maybe you keep it bound. Doesn't matter. What's important is really allow the twist to happen wherever your arms are going to go. Keep the breath nice and steady. And then gently come out of the twist. Bring your hand back to the block, back to the chairs, whichever you're using. Then bring your hands to your waist. Inhale, come on up. Bend the front knee and step out of the pose. All right. So we'll come back now to the front of our mat for Tadasana again. This time, so as before, either have your toes together, heels slightly apart. And have your toes together, heels slightly apart, or have your feet hip width apart. Either way, make sure you're trying to have your feet parallel. So I like to do Tadasana this way. Stand up nice and tall, lift the toes, feel the feet. Feel the feet grounding to the ground, grounding down. That's it. Softly, gently lower the toes so there's down, but not doing the work. The feet are doing the work. Inhale the arms up. Interlace your hands. Interlace your fingers. Point your index fingers. Take a big inhale. Press your feet into the ground. Press into the ground. Reach up. As you exhale, bend to the right. So each inhale, you're pressing with your feet, reaching with your fingers up, up, up. Each exhale, finding a little more room to bend. Inhale, reach. Exhale, bend. Inhale, reach. Exhale, bend. One more inhale. And then come back to center. Switch the interlace of your fingers. Point your index fingers again. Take a big inhale, press the feet, reach up. Exhale to the left this time. Keeping the toes soft, don't let the toes grip. Keeping the energy in the feet as you inhale and press the feet. Exhale, let the body go a little bit further. Next inhale, inhale, come on up. And release the arms. Shake them out. All right. Now, we will do, next we're going to do Warrior 2 side angle pose. So, to do Warrior, we will start with our left foot turned out, our right foot turned in. So, if you recall our pyramid pose that we just did, our feet were aligned like this. For Warrior 2, it's similar, only rather than having our heels in alignment, we're going to try and have your heel intersect your arch. So you're really pulling this back. And in pyramid pose, we had a shorter length and the front leg was straight. In Warrior 2, this front leg is bent. And in pyramid pose, if you recall, we were looking to rotate our hips forward this way in line with this foot. In Warrior 2, right, we're actually rotating our hips the opposite way. So in this case, we need to really focus on really pulling this knee out so that it's going out over towards the toes. Our hips are trying to square, so we really have to rotate this. And we're trying to get our hips to go this way, right? So find that feeling. Find some nice length in your legs. Knee is over your ankle. Hands on your hips. Chest is facing forward. And then bring your arms out to your sides. And just stay here for a moment. Breathe a little bit. And then let your gaze go out over your left fingertips. And take a moment and just check in. Kind of see where what your body feels like. You know, are you leaning forward? Right? Trying to pull back. It's a nice sense of feeling as if someone's pulling your right arm to keep you nice and tall. So that there's a line going straight up your body, right through the middle. Right? You should feel like you're nice and upright. Gaze is going out over the left fingers. And then from here, you're going to sort of have a sense of pressing the palms down, pressing down, sinking the hips a little bit more. Bending the knee just a little bit more. Warrior Two is a very common pose, but it's a very hard pose to do well. Take a couple more breaths here. And then from here, bring your head back to center a little bit. Bring your elbow down to your thigh. Rotate that right shoulder up, and then bring your arm forward so it reaches up towards the corner of the ceiling. So you have a little bit of a twist here. You want to have a sense that there's a single line going from the outside of your back foot all the way up your side body, through your arm and your fingers. Keep the breath nice and even. Spread the fingers. Take a couple more breaths here. And then to come out of this pose, take a big inhale and come on up. And come back to Warrior Two. And then straighten the front knee. Bring your hands to your hips. Turn the left foot in. And to come out, we're going to heel toe, heel toe, until you can just step out. All right, so we have to do the other side. So in this case, you're going to turn the right foot out. Left foot's turned in. Hands on your hips, facing forward. So this is forward in this case. Now, again, bend this front knee. You have to sort of work a little bit to find the right length of your stance here for you, for your body. Find kind of where you can be nice and stable. Right knee over right ankle. Hips are facing forward a bit, as much as you can. Hands out to the side. Steady breath. So just start by really bending that front knee, sinking the hips a bit. Pulling this left arm back so you're not drifting forward. Keeping nice and upright. Sinking the hips. Sometimes we have a tendency as we sink the hips to let our bodies start to tip forward. So that's where you really want to work on pulling that body back, staying centered. Let the gaze go out over your right fingers. Have a sense of pressing the air down with the hands. Bending that front knee just a little bit more. And then we're going to come into side angle pose. So bring your head to the center. Drop your arm back to the thigh. Find a twist here. So you're rotating your shoulders, bringing the left shoulder up. And then bring the left arm forward, reaching forward. As you find a nice long line from the outside of the back foot, through the side body, through the arms, all the way out through the fingertips. Steady breaths. And then to come out, take a big inhale, come on up, back to Warrior Two. Hands on your hips. Straighten the front leg. Turn the right foot in. Heel toe to come out. Heel toe. Heel toe. Heel toe. Great. All right. Back to Tadasana. So, bring your feet together, either with toes together or hip width apart, whatever feels comfortable. Bring your arms out to the side. Take a big inhale. And then as you exhale, bring the right arm under the left, crossing at the elbows for eagle arms. Garudasana arms. And inhale, lift the elbows. Each inhale, see if you can lift the elbows a little bit more. One more breath. Inhale, lift the elbows. Exhale, release the arms back out to the sides. Take a big inhale. Exhale, cross the arms the other way. Left under right. Bringing the hands together for eagle arms. Whatever this manifestation of this pose looks like for you, just making your best effort. Feeling the stretch across the back body, into the arms, shoulders. Each inhale, lifting the arms a little bit higher. One more breath here. And then release the arms, shake them out, and come out of Tadasana. All right. Now, we'll go this way. Move the chair out of the way. And move the block out of the way. So we're going to do a forward bend here, like we did similarly, but we're going to be moving down to the mat now a little bit. So, start here, have your feet hip width apart. Stand up nice and tall. Feet firm, toes soft. Inhale the arms up. This time, as you exhale, bend at the waist. Bend the knees, letting the hands come all the way down to the mat. And then step to plank. Steady breath. Two more breaths. And then from here, you're going to lower down, all the way down to the mat. Point the feet, point the toes. Have the hands right at the low ribs. And then inhale. Press up to upward dog. Let the gaze go up towards the ceiling. And then exhale. Come to down dog. First down dog of the day. Only down dog I'm going to make you do today. So enjoy it. Let the breath be steady. Maybe bend the knees. Find a little sensation where you need it. And the calves maybe. Just sort of walk it around a little bit. Starting just sort of warm up for a nice down dog pose. So once you've sort of gotten into the pose, stretched it a little bit, now you're going to come into a nice down dog. So the fingers are spread, arms are straight, the arms are rotating forward, so the biceps are rotating forward. Keep the knees soft and bent a little bit. As you press your hands, press, let the arms extend, let the hips go up as high as you can, and then press the heels down towards the mat. Maybe the knees straighten, maybe they don't, doesn't matter. Keep those actions going, pressing the hands, lifting the hips, pressing the heels, letting the knees do whatever the knees will do in this case. And then come back to plank, and then lower the knees. Come to child's pose. So spread the knees wide, let the head come down either on the hands, maybe on the mat or blanket or whatever. Just take child's pose. Find a comfortable place to be here. Letting breath just be nice and steady without too much exertion. Take a couple more rounds of breath. And then come on up. And we are going to do a forearm plank. So you can do this one of two ways. If you have a block or a book or something, it's a nice way to do it, which is you put your hands down sort of on the corners of the block. So it would look like this. So you have your block here, your hands are in the corners of the block. Fingers are spread. Forearms come down to the mat, so this keeps your arms parallel. And that does create a little more work, right? But it's a nice way to do it. If you don't have a block or anything to use, you can certainly do it without the block, right? You can also do it this way. Bring your hands together, interlace your fingers, and then squeeze your elbows in, right? And you can do the plank in this form. So I don't want to do it with a block today, so I'm going to use a block. Bring your hands around the block or interlace your fingers. Have your forearms, walk your elbows in as much as you can. And we'll stay for about 2 minutes, about 10 breaths. About a minute, about 10 breaths. If you have to come in and out a few times, that's fine. No big deal either way. So we will step our feet back. So you step the right foot back, and then the left foot back. Let the hips come down. Let your body be nice and flat. Okay? And let the breath be nice and steady. Let the breathing be nice and steady and even. And while you're in this pose, you want to reach with the crown of the head forward. Press the heels back to bring a nice board-like quality to this plank. You want to be nice and straight and even, like a board, like a plank. Halfway through, 5 more breaths. One more breath. And then to come out, lower down, point the toes. Move the block out of the way if you're using something like that. Bring your forehead down to the mat. Bring your hands to your sides, right around even with your shoulder. Come up under your fingertips. And then take a big inhale, lift the head, chest, shoulders up. And exhale down. Walk your fingertips just a little bit further back. Again, inhale up. Exhale down. Then walk your hands back just another little bit on your fingertips. Inhale, raise head, chest, and shoulders. And then gently lower down, bringing the forehead towards the mat. Bring your hands up towards your forehead. Rest for just a moment. And then gently bring your hands under and press up and come onto your back. Lie back. And have your feet planted. I will say, if you just noticed a change in lighting, I noticed that part of the video got blurry, so I had to re-record it. So you're not losing your mind. Video did change. So lie here with your feet flat on the mat. Cross your right ankle over your left knee. This might be a strong enough pose for some people. You might feel a lot of sensation in the outer hip here. But if you feel like you've got room, then you can lift the left foot off, reach through, grab the back of the left thigh. Now let your breath be nice and steady and even. Maybe see what happens when you flex your feet. Can you flex, really engage the feet, maybe spread the toes a little bit. Feel how that feels, how it affects other parts of the body when you do that. When you talk about noticing other parts, what happens in other parts of the body, part of what we want to accomplish in yoga is just bringing awareness. Really allowing us to become aware of what happens when we spread our toes. Where does that affect the rest of our body? Can we notice the effect? Just letting that be there. Gently release the leg. Uncross the legs. Cross the left over the right. And again, this might be fine for you. Stay right here. Keep the leg crossed. If you feel like you've got room, you can lift the foot, reach through, grab the back of the right thigh, and pull that left foot towards you, pressing the knee into the ankle. Letting the breath be steady and even. And again, flexing the feet. Just notice how that feels, spread the toes, feel whatever it is, how it makes your body feel. Be aware of that. Let it come in, let it be there. Don't judge it. A couple more breaths here. And then you can release. And then you're going to spread your arms wide, have a block available. And I'll show you from this side. So you're going to cross your legs, knee, right at the knee here. Have your arms out to the sides a little bit. Walk this right foot in, lift the hips up, swing them a little bit to the left, keeping the shoulders on the floor. And then let the knees fall over to the side. And what you may notice that as the knees come to the floor, see my left shoulder's coming way up. So I'm going to use my block. You can use a blanket or pillow or anything here. Slide it under this leg here for support. And now my shoulder stays on the mat, and that helps sustain the twist, right? So if I don't have this block here and I roll over, I lose my twist. I want to keep my twist. So my twist is going to be maintained by keeping the shoulder down. And then I can lie flat. I can let my gaze go out to the left. And then as I'm in this pose for a little bit, I might go, wow, I feel like I've got some more room. I can slide the block out a little bit and let these legs come a little further. I get more sensation in my outer hip, but my shoulder is still down on the mat. So, we're in a twist, lying on the floor. we're getting ready for Shavasana, so you can start to maybe let go a little bit of the breath. Keep breathing, but you can back off a little bit from the length and intensity. Take another round of breath here, and then bring your head back to center. Bring your legs back up to center. Bring the hips in. Uncross the legs. Move your support to the other side. And then cross the right over the left, like that. And then lift the hips, swing the hips to the right, and let the knees fall towards the left. And again, if you need it, you can use a block. Again, support your legs so that your shoulder stays nice flat on the floor. Gaze can go out over the right fingertips. And again, I can adjust this block, really very incrementally. And as I find a little more space, I can just move it a little more and give myself a little more room. So it's very convenient and very helpful. And continue to really let the breath start to really become nice and slow. We're going to head into Shavasana shortly after this, so we're sort of preparing our bodies and starting to prepare our minds for the stillness that Shavasana is promoting. Alright, so I'm going to bring my head back to center, swing my legs back up, uncross my legs, and then I will extend my legs out straight, bring my arms by my side for Shavasana. So in Shavasana, going to let go of that steady breath we've been maintaining all through practice. Really letting our breath start to return to a very unconscious breathing. As we let the breath out, you can imagine gravity just holding you onto the mat. There's really no place to go. Let your body know that it is Shavasana time. You're not going to ask it to do anything for a few minutes other than lie still, breathe, and allow the effects of your practice today to seep into the muscles and bones, into your brain. Just let the effect of the practice seep into your body for Shavasana. eyes closed. Bring a little bit of motion back into the body. Moving the fingers and toes, maybe wriggling your nose, your lips. Allowing the body to start to move. And then keeping the eyes closed, bend your knees and roll onto your right side. Pausing there for a couple breaths. And then again, keeping the eyes closed, make your way up to a comfortable seated position. Sit up nice and tall, lifting all the way up from the belly button through the crown of the head. Bring your palms together at your heart center. Acknowledge the intention that you started your practice with today. Bring love and gratitude into your heart. Namaste. I hope you enjoyed the practice today. Again, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to reach out to me on the JCC Facebook page. And I hope to see you all again soon. Thanks.